I'm going to be bringing a trifecta, and it's going to be that quarterback threat. I'm looking at all passing props. We'll start with some Will Howard. We talked about K-State earlier. Let's kind of keep it with K-State for a second. Will Howard over 240 and a half passing yards. There's been a couple weeks he didn't get it. He didn't need to get it against Kansas. Kansas is bad. I'm a KU fan. They're bad. Their defense is not good. And he did not get it against Baylor, but West Virginia 294, Oklahoma State 296. Didn't get against TCU, but TCU.
And he only played like half a game against TCU that
game.
He
only threw 19 times in that game.
Yeah. So 240, I think that's very doable. He could probably get that by the end of the third quarter.
Easy.
My next play is Jay Kaner over 295 and a half passing yards. Dude, he's been throwing the ball like no one ever has. Talk about playing for your job. He's averaging over 300 passing yards in the last 5 games. He had a little bit of a rough one last week, but I think this is a bounce back. And if they want to beat Boise State in this championship, he has to sling it. If he doesn't successfully sling, they lose. My last one, Taylon Green over 210 and a half passing yards for Boise. I think it's kind of the same thing. I think that Boise State's going to have to keep pressure up. They might be able to run a little bit and balance out the whole offense. But as you can see, he's hit it in all last 5 games. I think that he's going to keep up the pressure, hit his receivers, get 210 and a half yards pretty easy.
Heavy on the quarterback's prop, Teats. I like it.
Huge quarterback prop.
Huge heavy. I'm going to go ahead and go next, and I'm going to keep the quarterback streak going here. I'm going to start with Will Howard over 240 and a half passing yards. Howard has dominated when given the chance to play for K-State, and this game should be a high-scoring, fast-paced game. Howard should throw for 300 yards easily in this game, like Teats said. My second prop will be Jaden Daniels over 41 and a half rushing yards. As you can see, he doesn't have a problem running the ball. Pop those stats up if you can. Yeah, he doesn't have a problem running the ball for this LSU team. Well over his total for the last 5 games. LSU needs to win, or for LSU to win, Daniels will have to make plays, happen with his legs framing out of the pockets against this good Georgia team. He's an electric player to watch, so I think he'll easily get this total over 37.5 rushing yards. And to off the quarterbacks here, I'm going to go to R.J. Harvey to score a rushing touchdown against Tulane for UCF.
I like it.
Yep, Tulane struggling against the run, as I said, and Harvey didn't find the end zone in their first game against Tulane, so look for him to find the end zone in this one. So those are my 3-player props for the college football slate. Let's go to Trey.
I like it, and I'm going to go to a quarterback player prop, and I'm going to throw a curveball at you guys. I'm going to go with an under here, and it's with the best quarterback on the board, Drake May, but he's also going against the best defense probably in the country, maybe with Clemson. Their defensive line is monsters, and all of them should make it to the NFL. I think I think May is going to get baptized into the pass rush in this game. 295 and a half is pretty high against Clemson. If you look at his most recent games, he hasn't really sniffed this number in the last 2 games. Maybe he's hitting that rookie wall because he is a freshman. So maybe he's, kind of getting tired, body's getting worn down. So I'm going to go under on the 295 and a half. And then, I don't just like to do under, so I'm going to throw an over at you guys. I'm going to go with Malik Knowles over receiving yards at 35 or at 63 and a half. Malik Knowles is an absolute weapon in the Wildcat offense. Last week he did have a dud against KU, but like Teats said, they didn't need to have a big game. They could have, ran out their JV team and beat KU. But if you look at all the other games against Oklahoma State, Texas, West Virginia, he was cooking them. Texas has one of the best defenses in the Big 12, so to get 93 yards against them is pretty impressive. Now, if we go to TCU, which has one of the worst passing defenses in the Big 12, 63 and a half is pretty easy. So I like that play for him. And I can't give you guys a majority of overs, so I'm going to go with an under here. And it's a weird under. Whenever I saw it, I was kind of shocked at the number, but under minus 7.5 rushing yards.
Oh, jeez.
If you look at it, he has hit this in 3 out of his 5 games, and he lost on the hook on one of them, so it should be 4 out of the 5. Fresno State's passing offense is electric, but you know what isn't electric? Their offensive line. Their offensive line ranks in the bottom third in college football in sacks allowed with just over 3 a game. And on the flip side, Boise State's pass rush is in the top third of college football with just under 3 sacks a game. So I think We only need him to get sacked twice for this to hit because he does not use his legs at all. He is definitely a pocket passer. He can maybe even be sacked once in this number to hit, but we just need to get him sacked twice, and that's easy money for us. This might be my lock of the weekend if we're being honest.
Oh my God. That's the most unique stat line I think I've ever seen. I've never seen a quarterback with an over-under of -7.5. Like not even just like a -1 or something. -7.5. Like they're expecting him to lose rushing yards immediately.
It's not low enough.
You're the only person I know, Trey, that would take an under of negative yards. Like that.
And somebody watching this is going to back me up. And you know what?
I hope it wins.
We're going to be rolling into Sunday with extra money in our pockets.
I hope that wins. That'll be insane.